What is up, residents of the Meister Clan? This is your boy, Six Meister Man, and today we're coming at you with a very special video, and this is what if Deku was the Dragon Lord? So, obviously you're probably thinking, oh, Dragon Lord, thus a Dragon Lord. No, I'm talking about the person that created my intro and outro. He's an amazing what-ifer. He does his own content. He's almost at 2K subs. Check him out in the description. Today, while this video is up, is his birthday, so make sure to go show him some love. And this is what if he was Deku. So, first of all, go check out all his stuff. I'm not plugging anything of mine. Make sure to wish him a happy birthday on his newest vid. It will be the only thing other than the music link in the description this time. Make sure to go check it out. Really hope you all enjoy. Roll the intro. You're probably wondering how I'm going to turn basically a YouTuber and a friend of mine by the name of Dragon Lord into Deku. So first of all, I'm going to take his initial approach to his avatar and character as a whole with on YouTube. He is actually based off of Natsu from Fairy Tail and is somewhat of a half dragon, if you will. So I would proceed to say that in this one, he's obviously not going to be Fairy Tail related, but My Hero related, because that is dominantly what his what ifs are. So I decided just to do this for him. He is going to be called Midoriya, or not Midoriya, Izuku, or for plot convenience, I'm going to just call him Deku because I can. He's going to be the son of Dragon Lady and half-brother to Tamaki of the Big Three with the transformation quirk. So basically his quirk is going to be dragon transformation manipulation. He can use the ability of certain types of dragon, which he is a species of, quote unquote, and he can control the forms he transforms into. For example, he could transform into a half dragon where he'd only have scales on his body. He could transform into Dragonkin where he'd basically be like the armor from High School DxD. Or he could go full dragon where his abilities are at its strongest. So, you're probably wondering about things like breath attacks or stuff like that. Yes, he would. He'd have a natural resistance to heat, other types of dragon abilities, cold, and similar things in all of his forms. Obviously being the most potent in his full dragon form, which is going to be like his powerhouse form. But it does put a lot of strain on him mentally. But personality-wise, he'd feel it is his truest form, because dragon and all. So, also, another factor I need to mention, the Dragon Lord, the YouTuber, is a really fun, loving, happy-go-lucky type of guy. Really cool guy. Make sure to join his Discord. His link will also be in the description. Go check it out. And I really want to incorporate this into the personality. Gonna change the look up a little bit. So, I'm basically just replacing Deku instead of making Deku any of these. So, sorry to those of you that wanted to see alternate dimension Dragon Deku, but nah. So, yeah, his powers, now out of the way, is gonna now get into his life. He's not gonna grow up with Tamaki, who was about 2 or 3 when he was born, but he's gonna grow up with Dragon Lady. Obviously, he's gonna call her mom, but that's her hero name. I don't really care about her real name. It's something Ryuko or something. I can't even remember her name. So, she's going to raise Izuku. Or, I'm going to be referring to him as Dragon from now on. So, she's going to be raising Dragon. And Dragon is going to grow up a fairly cool life. As soon as he turns 4. And, remember, he does have a mutation type emitter quirk. So, it's a mutation and emitter. But the only clear signs was some of the scales popping up on his skin of it being a mutation, and the emitter type fully popped up when he turned 4. So when he turned 4, he gained the ability to go into his half dragon state, which would basically grow him 1 wing, and basically Dragon Lady would see this as an evolution of her quirk and try to train it. Over the years of training, he'd unlock the ability to eventually transform into what I call Dragonkin, aka a dragon in human form. So, also, kids, just remember, don't donate to VTubers. before we continue, it's a really bad idea. And plug out of the way, let's continue. So, I'd say it's a good idea to skip forward, or not, because you're probably wondering about Bakugo. So, Bakugo would still bully on Deku because Deku, being fun-loving, happy-go-lucky type of guy, would get along with everyone, have a pretty powerful quirk, but Bakugo needs to be superior. I personally believe that Dragon, he would ignore Bakugo, quote-unquote. He'd say that, yeah, whatever, Bakugo, if you're stronger, then you're stronger. Because that's the type of guy Dragon is. So, over the years, Bakugo would have that thing where he thinks he's stronger than Deku. But around the time when he was 8 or 9, when he got his Dragonkin form, aka his full humanoid dragon form, he would actually, encounter Bakugo in some way. Where Bakugo would be trying to throw an explosion at a weak kid, and he'd step in. It would become an all-out brawl, with Bakugo throwing a large explosion that could hurt anyone that didn't have the hard armor Deku had, which he created through going full Dragonkin mode, and he didn't fight back at all. He just defended, and the explosion did nothing, until the teachers arrived and saw that Deku did nothing, even though they did scold him some. After checking the footage later, they know that they're wrong, so they did apologize, and there was no real problems, except that Dragon Lady, unlike Inko, would actually go to Bakugo's mom and be like, bitch, this gotta stop. This gotta stop here and now. So, I feel that Bakugo's mom would work more on his personality, and he wouldn't be as quick to think he's all powerful. Because Izuku didn't even try to fight back and barely tried to defend, and his explosion still didn't do anything. So, obviously, we continue to the next part, which would be around where the anime would have started, aka the sludge villain. The sludge villain would jump out at Deku, which would be a more or less normal way to get into it. He'd start off by probably meeting with Bakugo. Bakugo would be like, hey Deku, something stupid, and Deku would be like, whatever, and just leave. He'd run into the sludge villain. All Might would show up, saving him from the sludge villain, as All Might would have thought, and Izuku would walk off. All Might would ask him if why he isn't excited to see All Might, and Izuku would literally go into his Dragonkin form and say, I prefer my mom, she's better, and then just proceed to flap away, which would probably tip him off that it's Dragon Lady's kid, and he'd have to have a talk with her later because of his public quirk usage. So, basically next to the time skip. I'm not going to give anyone one for all just yet because I don't really see a point in it at this very moment in time. Also, the reason no one's getting it is because Dragon or Deku would eventually be getting it, amping their quirk to new levels. But not quite yet. For now, we're going into the 10-month time skip for UA to pop up. Basically, Dragon would or Dragon Lady would bring up to Dragon, or Mini Dragon, or whatever you want to call him, that the UA entrance exam could be tough. Maybe they should take this 10-month time period to really train him as hard as they ever did. So she would necessarily take some time off of pro hero and modeling and TV acting to basically focus on her kid. In this time, she would push Deku to discover a half dragon form, where he's bigger than the average Dragonkin is, but he's not fully transformed into a dragon. He's more like an adolescent dragon. Not really adult, not really child. So, a medium size, if you will, and is not that strong. He's basically a little stronger than his Dragonkin form, with a better ability over his breath, or I'd be his first time using the breath, because I personally feel the breath would be implemented around this time when he actually had a full dragon form, but it's still slower and less enduring than the actual Dragonkin form. So they'd have to push it further. They push it further to the point where Dragon would be able to unlock his Dragon Lord form, which I will be calling it, which is basically a fully grown adult dragon, spanning around the same size as Dragon Lady in her dragon form. So, pretty big. It has scales that can withstand probably missiles, and is pretty much one of the strongest transformations ever. Except, there's one problem. For now, he can only withstand it 10 seconds at a time, so the best he could do is survive a head-on nuclear explosion, then die of the radiation. So, yes, a lot of protection, but a very low time limit. Very big drawback, and similar stuff. So, this is where the UA entrance exam would be. Deku was always a very smart kid, both in canon and in this What If, or Dragon, and he would go to UA, easily pass the written test, getting around the same score, if not higher, than Bakugo's. Also, in the physical exam, where it's really going to start to make a difference, is him just using his, Dragonkin form, smashing in robots, and accumulating about the same points as Bakugo, until the giant 0-pointer would show up trying to step on Uraraka, and he'd see this as a moment. He would blast forward as fast as he can, transforming into his Dragon Lord form, pushing it out as large of a breath technique as he possibly can, knocking it over but not destroying it. He does get the hero points at the end because he still does take her to the nurse and everything, so something a hero in general would do. Sorry if I sound stupid, I'm really tired. And what would happen is, I don't know. Personally, I think it would end, like the entire first part would end right there, and we'd move on to when he gets the notice that he's in UA and he got the top score and was the only person to actually get proper amounts of hero points. He'd return to class after celebrating with his mom and a few other pro heroes who are friends with his mom, and probably see his brother and dad every once in a while, but nothing too often to celebrate about. I'd feel that Tamaki and his dad would be kind of involved in this, just to see that, yeah, he did become strong and he did get into the best hero school. So obviously, as people that are related to him, they are just automatically proud that their blood is doing so good. Obviously, Tamaki is not the most social, and Dragon, being this upbeat, fun-loving Mirio type, probably suits, Tamaki more than you'd think. But he kind of dislikes it. He expects his brother to be more like him instead of more like his best friend. He wants someone he can relate to, similar to himself, which he didn't get. So it's kind of those things where you wish they were different, but you need to deal with what you got. So I'm going to just say, we continue. In actual UA, Deku would have obviously gotten the most points, so the first important part, not really gonna go over dialogue too much, because most things would go canon because of his personality per se, just Bakugo being a little more lenient towards Dragon, and Dragon would be the first to have to throw the ball. After throwing the ball, he'd probably get the 4th or 5th largest score. Speed, same. Strength, same. So all around, I'd say he'd end about 3rd. Bakugo would end around 4th. First would be Momo, 2nd Todoroki, 3rd Deku, and then 4th Bakugo. Asking why this placement is so is because you'll find out later. That's all I'm going to say for now. So, the next major event will be the USJ, with All Might seeing Deku, being impressed that he got into UA, even though he already knows that he's into UA because of that message. He still praises Deku a little for what he did with his heroics against the 0-pointer. And Deku wouldn't really feel it. Like, he doesn't get as big of an eco boost from All Might as he would from someone as his brother, who's never really acknowledged him. Secretly, what Sun Eater, or whatever his name is, has been doing is he's always envied what his brother has been. Someone that is confident and someone that is positive over themselves. Someone that can really do what he wishes he could do. And I personally believe this could cause the actual rift within their entire brothership. It might literally just be the reason Tamaki and Dragon aren't acting like brothers. Because Dragon is trying to turn Tamaki into him, and Tamaki just wishes he was Dragon from the start, but he isn't. So the USJ, following up, would proceed to have Deku take, or Dragon take Deku's place, with, I feel, the Froppy thing going over quite quickly, because Deku would be there to help, and I feel he'd have different Dragon forms, as I said, Dragon form manipulation, and would be able to transform into some type of water dragon, similar to what a wyvern would be, but not necessarily the same. And would proceed to get them out quicker than Froppy could. So Deku would probably be able to interfere with the Nomu even earlier. So we might see the Nomu Dragon interaction early, with him going into his max form to get the Nomu off of Aizawa, and then just keeping it busy with his Dragonkin form. He can't really transform back into his full power form, and is getting pretty severely beaten down by the Nomu when All Might eventually arrives because of Ida's intervention. So when All Might arrives, he basically sees this student that had just saved a teacher, and then proceeded to take a beating in place of the rest of his class. Even then, All Might decides to fight. So All Might obviously interfering with the battle, but Deku, still being brutally beaten, would be able to transform, being inspired by this student, to push the Nomu back and actually start fighting. In the meantime, Shigaraki would make his way to Froppy, where he tried to disintegrate her, but Dragon would interfere. He'd sacrifice one of his Dragonkin wings, and basically believes he lost the ability to grow that wing again, which might cause his Dragon transformation a permanent dampen. All Might, seeing this, would also pretty much freak, and then go really high. But as Deku's wing is disintegrating, obviously Aizawa would stop the Quirk, but half of his wing would already be gone, which is pretty much a battle scar. It's not the main bone of the wing, but it's like an entire part of the muscle that's entirely gone. So it would be more like a giant battle crater instead of a scar at that point, and All Might would be able to push beyond 100% and finally defeat the Nomu. At this point, he can feel One for All leaving him, but he still has enough to push on to be the #1 hero. So if you enjoyed, make sure to go smash the like button, leave the comment #HappyBirthdayDragon in the comment section, and also go over to his channel and Discord, link in the description. Subscribe to him, everything, leave him the love he deserves. Let's get Birthday Boy to 2K subs. Now thanks to said Birthday Boy, roll that beautiful outro.
1, 2, 3, let's go!
Subscribe for more.
Yada yada does it.
One. Happy birthday, Dragon!
Happy birthday,
Dragon!
Okay, dude, have a great new year. Congratulations on turning 17. Hope you have a great YouTube career, bro.